Clash of Clans Podcast, OG, episode 49. Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Scotty827, joined in studio by the swimtastic, Swim Boi.
Hey guys,
How's it going?
it's going good. I'm ready for war.
Yes, we are actually doing something a little bit different for this podcast. We're doing Clash Worlds Part 2, right? Because we did a first attempt and we had a team. Second weekend, we are pairing up with CQ Revolution and forming a hybrid team since they didn't have the numbers either. And so we are 2 minutes and 46 seconds into, left of preparation day on the first Battle of Worlds Part 2. What are you thinking, Swim?
I'm looking at the bases right now, and my mirror actually looks pretty good. The walls are very, very rushed, so I'm happy about that.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think, let's see, I'm looking at the others now. Uh, I think we're a little bit higher level than the other ones.
Yeah, I think so too. So Worlds for me was my first Worlds, and you too, I think, right? Last
Yeah, yeah.
weekend.
Mm-hmm.
What did you expect, or how did it compare so far?
I mean, I went into it not even knowing like any of the process or anything, and I enjoyed it so much. Like, I really want to start doing like competitions.
Yeah,
Um,
we got signed up
it.
too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And congratulations, Mr. Co-leader.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to the co-leadership of L. He got his clan jacket. Took me a while to make that AI thing for you. it,
Yeah.
it was like a clan jacket acceptance AI picture. I don't know how to
Mhm.
describe it. You should see
Yeah.
the rejects. It was horrible. I don't know. I feel like like I've told you, getting ready to go on vacation or something, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like getting up to for last weekend after talking to the C2J guys and everything. I was like, okay, do I have everything? Do I have everything? Double check this, get over to the clan, and then just a little bit of nerves, to be honest.
And
Right beforehand, going, you know, are they going to call my number? When are they going to open the gate?
yep. Yep.
So last week when we did the first round, it was pretty quick.
Yeah.
Were you surprised?
I was. Kind of reading over the rules and stuff. I expected it to be like this pretty big ordeal of, maybe like 6 hours long or
That
something. And it was in and out, like 15 minutes. It was crazy.
Yeah, I was canceling plans, well, not really canceling them, but just not making any of them. Going, I got to set the whole day aside.
Mm-hmm.
And, and we were on Discord going, uh, oh, I guess we're done. Which was, we had our full day, full Sunday back.
Yeah.
So we are starting it is 29 minutes into battle day number 1. What are the rules on the hitting part of it?
I think one of the five of us that are in war right now, have to hit within the first 15 minutes. And then we can just hit after that, whenever we want. Anyone can. And we can hit any base that we want. Um, I ooh, my mirror, his base looks so weird,
Let me see your
like in the
name.
shape of an eye.
You're number 3.
Yeah,
Oh, weird.
yeah,
Yeah, I haven't seen that shape before.
me neither. But it's doesn't look too bad.
No, no, I think. Oh, I suppose we're not actually seeing the war base yet, right?
No, this is it. This is it.
Oh, it is a war base. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh. That's all right then.
Yeah.
Or are they switching them up? I think they switched up that one.
Yeah, they switched all of them. Just like last week, I remember some of the bases looked really, really funky during the 5 minute prep phase. And then they changed it and it was
Yeah,
completely different.
I actually feel pretty confident about my mirror. I guess okay. So here's one of the things as we're thinking about it, and please keep me on track if you see something in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
So we get this new hard mode, right? Did you
Mm-hmm.
change your army at all to
Um, yeah, a little bit. So normally in Legend League, I think the only thing I'm changing is I'm bringing one overgrowth spell. Just because if anything starts walking off by itself, it's just going to instantly die. So with the overgrowth, that kind of helps with the funneling and can ensure that I get them to the core to 100% get the 2 star and then try and power through as much extra percent as I can.
is there something different with the bases that you found too in like defensive?
Not really.
Any changes?
I most of the stuff I've been seeing is pretty similar to what I've been hitting in Legends, which is so great for practice too. Because I mean, I can just look at a base and I instantly know like which side I want to hit, like right off the bat. And I don't even need to take 30 seconds to really prep for it anymore because I see a couple key differences on the outside and I know that's where I want to come in with the
Oh,
RC.
okay, tell me what are those things then that you're
Definitely the monolith or any of the Ricos, fire spitters if they do have them off to the side. Um, the biggest thing I want to avoid usually is the town hall. If I can come in,
really?
like, yeah, I don't like saving the town hall for last because it's way too risky and I've gotten too many 1 stars because of that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You
but
get right to the front door,
yeah,
pounded.
if I, send the RC into it, it usually gets, like, 1 hit off between the invisibility of the fox and the, spell, which just, works down the fox and just kills it.
Yeah,
Um,
I've been running
so
into that.
usually I try and attack to the side of the town hall with the RC on the opposite corner, and then I funnel with, my queen on, like, the town hall corner, and then I kinda push up the side from there.
What do you prioritize? So would you go like monolith number one, the thing you're looking for? Can I get the monolith?
Yeah, usually it's monolith and then the new, multi-shot are kinda tied. Or multi-gear.
That thing is nasty.
Yeah. Oh, and 4 doesn't even have that yet.
So what are you seeing that like were you doing hard mode before the new update?
I think I did, like, 1 or 2 matches, but not really just because we weren't running it in War, and Legends isn't like that, so I was like, "There's no really need to practice it," although it probably is pretty good for um, practicing so that if you can do well on hard mode, then you'll do great without that, and you'll just feel amazing. But I never really played around with it.
That was the thing what to expect was oh my god, they're going to get a 3 on Tyler.
Oh wow,
Maybe
yeah, they might.
if she goes up.
Oh, they might time fail.
Oh,
Oh
no.
man, if that can pop and get that down, all right, 6, 5, 4. Come on, 3,
2
1. Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
99%. Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
goodness.
So our
Jeez.
number 1 was just attacked by number 3. And it looked like it was 100%. And I was just about to say before that, uh, have you 3-starred in hard mode?
I have like twice or 3 times now, but it's been rough. It's been like my best attacks, if everything goes to plan, is usually like 80s to 90s.
Yeah.
But it's so hard to 3-star now.
Well, is there any adjustments that you're making that? like, is it the same for you in attack as it is in normal mode?
Um, yeah, I would say so. I am more conservative too with my spirit walk. If my RC gets pretty low and starts like walking from the key targets that I want for that funnel, then I just pull her out instantly with the recall because I can't risk her taking too much damage.
I feel like I'm getting losing the RC, losing the Warden more on
Mm-hmm.
hard mode. Um, I don't know if I should adjust some pets. I'm not going to do anything today, besides what I
Right.
already did, which was probably taking my bowler army. Um, I was telling Swim before the podcast that after talking to the C2J guys last night, I started putting my bowler army, super bowler army, back in, and I was hitting it with my E Titan army, and whatever the percentage was, I switched it over to super bowlers. And even though it didn't look like I was getting more like when I was in the attack, uh, it was 10% almost instantly
Mm-hmm.
on top of it. And I think it's that overthrow into the compartments
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
because I was taking out that new defense a lot easier. Trying to,
Mm-hmm.
because oh my god, does that thing just shred?
Yeah. 644 damage per second. It's crazy.
Yeah, I was looking at it, trying to hit it a bunch of different ways in FCs, and it really, I just could not get through that without a spell of some sort
Mhm.
or like a tome.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless it's on the long range. Like, Charlie's going in right now, and, it was on the long range, and it obviously does damage, but it didn't seem to do a whole lot.
Look at those new Teslas.
Yeah. They're nice looking.
They remind me of have you ever seen The Fifth Element?
Uh-uh.
Oh, it's a great science fiction movie. But they have these stones and they kind of look like that kind of um piece. They're the five elements. And Charlie
Ooh.
Masters is doing some work on this base. Let's see what.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Doing good. I really like the, Rocket Loon Fireball. That's what he's doing right now, and, I was trying to practice it like a week and a half ago, and I was doing okay, but not too great in Legends. I was always time failing or hitting that like 90% every single attack. But it looks like it's pretty decent in hard mode.
Yeah, he's got a 83%. Um, got to keep my eye on time here. My hands are sweating. Uh, it looks like we've got 2 stars on the board. They've got. Are we supposed to hit back and forth? Or we've got 4 stars. They've got
Yeah, yeah, we're good now. Beer's attacking right
Beers
now.
attacking. Oh,
Oh,
he is
hard
using.
mode changes the stats that the fireball stats because they nerfed the fireball for hard mode.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So now, oh, I forgot about that.
See, and you can, we talk about changes and stuff like on the podcast and, read about them. And then it's easy to forget about them when you
Yeah.
go in uh, and you're doing the everyday stuff.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, or you reference like a video or something that's like a month old. And, oh, he's
Mhm.
going to get an 82%.
Alright, that's solid.
That's solid. Oh, so which base am I going to take then? Probably one, right?
Let me look. You said you're using super bowlers?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, what was I gonna I think I was gonna do 4. If you wanna take 4, you can. Or no. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. It looks a little more compact, so the bouncing balls might do a little bit more, effect,
It's up to
but it's up
you.
to
I can
you.
hit it either way. I can hit either one. I
Alright.
think they're about the
Um
same. I mean, in terms of,
Yeah, I can definitely definitely. I can hopefully 2-star at least, either of them. I probably wouldn't be able to triple number 1, and there would be a small chance for number 2. Or sorry, number 4. Just because for me, I like hitting relatively more compact bases, as long as the defenses, like the core isn't super heavy. But if the defenses are relatively spread out, like throughout the base, but all the buildings themselves are close together, that's where the E Titans really excel.
Looking at 4, I almost feel like could flame flinger that base in a couple spots.
Mm-hmm.
Like right down on at like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Couldn't you put a flinger down there and spirit walk at like 10? Bring a horde right through and just smash the
Oh yeah,
shit out of that?
you could try. Yeah, I see what you mean. You just have to watch out for that the expo and the mortar there, but
Oh yeah, that mortar. You wouldn't really get. I'm okay with whatever. You probably have a better shot of 3-starring. I'm probably not gonna get a 3 regardless, unless there is a overt divine act. So I'm not really I don't really get too bent out of shape about it either.
yeah. Yeah, I've learned to accept the 2-star, like a high 2-star is a success now with hard mode.
Well, it's just right. It's just like I'm ready for the next one then. Like, okay,
Mhm.
I fucked up or something, or like, oh shit, it didn't go. But I have lost so many times in this game. Like, if I would have no self esteem
Yeah.
if I really thought about it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like as long as you're going in and giving it your best, and you're not just, oh my god, there's 12 minutes left. I'm gonna. So do we have to wait for somebody else to do it?
No, we can go in whenever.
Okay. Okay.
So
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to hold my iPad. It's slipping out of my sweaty hands. Okay.
Alright,
All
I
right.
might go in. Here, I'll describe the base kinda to the viewer or the listeners. So it's um, kind of a ring base, with different boxed out segments. Um, I'm thinking of going with Spirit Walk from 9 o'clock, taking out some of that side, setting up the funnel with that. The town hall is at the 6 o'clock direction, and so I'm thinking about laying down the queen and siege barracks there, set up the funnel there, and then I'll attack from between the two, take out the town hall. Probably the core is 2 spitters that are raged up. That'll be kind of annoying, but, I'll either overgrowth that or the top side of the base just to keep things flowing through the middle. I'll really just work my hardest at keeping things moving forward with, the overgrowth and the funnel. Alright.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. I am ready. Alright. Um, targeting that. I'll take it.
Yeah, you should. Oh my god. You lived up to that song. Holy crap. My hands are shaking watching that. Holy shit. That was awesome.
Thanks. I think that overgrowth might have killed me. I was trying to, take out that single target that was wrecking it, but
Okay, I better get in before I forget it. Okay, let me see here. Straight up. I think I'm gonna take an overgrowth instead.
um, targeting that. You can tell I think I'm sexy. Yeah, and everything is just don't impress me. And I can't smoke no attention. See what I want because I'm sexy. I need a model right next I'll take it.
Yeah, you should. Oh my God. You lived up to that song. Holy crap. My hands are shaking watching that. Holy shit. That was awesome.
Thanks. I think that overgrowth might have killed me. I was trying to take out that single target that was wrecking it.
Okay, I better get in before I forget it. Okay, let me see here. Straight up. I think I'm going to take an overgrowth instead. Oh my God. Gwen, that was awesome.
Thanks.
Okay,
That
here.
was definitely my best attack in a while.
That was like a real nice lineup of, it was like a perfect herd.
Oh, Tyler's going in.
So I'm going to want you. Can we hit at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
You got it.
I'll try not to scream.
Nice funnel.
Oh. Give me the 60.
Yep. You should get. Oh, wait, 14 seconds? No, yeah, you got that. You got that.
Well, I did better than last week.
Yes. It's good.
So for the listeners out there, I just hit the number one in this clan. Oh my God. Need a triple from Scotty827, Tyler said in the chat. He should know how ridiculous that statement sounds. I in the old days of war, so many have rested on my shoulder. I probably lost us the game, didn't I?
No.
What is the
It was 75.8 for us to 82 for them.
Wow, they just blew us out of the water then.
Yeah, so Tyler had a 66, Charlie had an 83, I had an 87, Beer had an 83, and then you had a 60.
I'm just gonna edit that part out. Okay, so I guess that means we're out.
If it's the same rules as last week, yes.
So when you're looking at my attack there, what would you have? I mean, and I take no offense.
Yeah.
What did you think I should have done better on that, or what would you have? Where would you have done the funnel? Probably should
Here,
have
I'm
done.
gonna replay it. I think the funnel actually looked very good. Everything was clumped together very well. Things
I'm,
just like died really quickly in the core there.
yeah, it's like I think I lost my king early.
Mm-hmm.
I think to the monolith. That's been the hard part. Is so this base is the type of base where there was the TH and the monolith up top,
Mm-hmm.
with the minion prints and stuff up there, and I can never get a good break into the town hall. And you were talking about like not doing the RC um at that monolith. Like
Yeah, both the monolith and the town hall, because with everything else, like if it targets it for like half a second, it's not gonna do much damage. Like even if a scatter shot hits it, like yeah, that's a pretty solid amount, but it's not the end of the world. But like monolith, one hit of the monolith, like half your RC health is gone. And
yeah.
then the town hall just destroys both the RC and the fox. And then it leaves the poison on the ground, so it really could shred. So I try and keep the RC as far away from the town hall as possible while still funneling the side that's close to it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And on this tack, the monolith got my king. I think if I would have noticed it and put a freeze in, um
Mhm.
and then I'd have been
Oh,
able
I
to take
see.
the RC um in at like 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock inside.
Yeah.
But because that king died, I was afraid of that funnel of them walking on the outside.
Mhm.
And then they get down to, oh, it was the scatter shot, the bomb tower. Oh, bomb tower, scatter shot, and a
And
giant
the
bomb.
yeah, and the dual, spitters. I think it was the spitters, honestly. You froze them after a little bit, but,
Buff.
they were eating away.
Yeah. How are you paying attention? I mean, are you just like catching yourself on, like, if you're going into a core like this, right? And what are you gonna prioritize freezing? The scatter shot?
Um, it depends on the kinda army. For me, since I'm using Root Riders and, the E-Giant or E-Titans, it's the spitters probably first. At least especially if there's 2. If there's 2, I'll 100% freeze one of them very early. Um, but yeah, scatter shots, anything that's like high damage over high splash damage.
Are you afraid of the
And
spitters?
yes. I think when they first came out in the game, a lot of people were being like, "Yeah, it's it's a new defense, but it's nothing really to scoff at." But now, I mean, now they're upgraded, and if you're hitting pretty close to them, them being inaccurate doesn't matter. Like they just will eat through a more swarmy kind of army.
If they're pointing at each other,
Hmm.
you know how like in the town hall they'll have the town hall and then there'll be two of them that are kind of facing each other, so they'll give like a real wide or real overspray that can just decimate.
Yeah, yeah.
How do you deal with that, or what do you have like a so if I see that, I'm trying to come at one of them and go into
Hmm.
the other one,
Yeah, yep.
or do you have a different way of dealing with those?
Originally, I would go. I don't know why I did this, but I would go through the midsection the opposite way, like originally, and then I noticed that, I had 2 spitters pointing at me, that's probably not the smartest. So, yeah, I'd go on the backside of one, which usually will be away from the town hall a little bit, which is a little bit worrisome, but, then I use the Eternal Tome and the Healing Tome with my Warden.
You do?
And yeah, I still love the double tome. And, so I let it actually eat away at, like, usually, like, on average, half of the, Root Rider's health. And then when they're pretty low, I like delaying my abilities till pretty late. Um, so then they're usually in that time pretty much in the core. So then I'll pop the tome, pop a rage, and then they'll just run right through it, destroy it, and then I don't have to worry about it. And, usually the attacks that I fail, they, fail because, the triple ice golem CC comes out, and then I get stuck in the middle. The
Just pound it
w
on.
Yeah, yeah.
Were you using the rage gem? Or
Not with
you've just been
the only
on both of those tones for a while?
Yeah, I used to with, super witches, anything like fireball attacks, I'll use the rage gem, but, with this Root Riders, definitely not. Just because with the nerf, they're a little more squishy.
You don't switch them out, or do you often switch equipment between armies, or are you?
No, not really. Here, let me see. Right now, I have the earthquake boots and the spiky ball and the king. That's still very meta. Um, I like the magic mirror and the healing or the healer puppet on the queen. Just because with the mirror, it's so good
Yeah,
for funneling and stuff, and
it's
that's
just
really all I use the queen for.
it'd be very hard for me to switch out a queen equipment at this point. I mean, it would have to
Yeah.
be. It would be like,
Yeah, the only thing I would switch out with the queen would be, for, like, an air army, I guess you could use the giant arrow, to snipe out, like, the air defenses or the spell towers, but, I mean, No one really uses the invisibility vial anymore, and the Archer puppets is not
How,
that good.
how are you feeling after the update?
I'm so happy with it.
Are you?
Yeah, I think before I was pretty happy with the state of the game, but now I'm even more so because it's definitely gotten a slight bit harder. Not so it's not like Town Hall 15 was, um, but
Impossible.
yeah, it's not like that. But like I'm looking at especially in Legends League, at least I'm very happy. My attacks against me for the most part are like 80% 2 stars, 70% 2 stars, and then I usually have like two triples. And I'm like 5,700 right now, so pretty relatively high up in Legend League. And people still are struggling to triple, but still occasionally can. And before it, I was hitting six triples a day and still losing trophies or breaking even, and it was very frustrating because a failed triple is like a complete failure.
Yeah.
Um,
So
Where
what?
now it's I feel better if I get like a 91%. I'm like, okay, I'll still have it for the day.
So do you think it's like? Do you think it's the bases are just more in balance, and then your defenses are like catching up? So you've
Yeah, I
only
think
got two
so.
forties, right? Against you. Is it just because uh like you're attacking about the same, right? But your
Mhm.
defenses are gaining uh strength? Is that I'm kind of wondering
Yeah.
like why like between our bases, you know what I mean? Like um so you're getting about two triples against you every day. You were going about four or six, you said before?
I used to have 6 or 7 against me every single day, yeah.
Do you think it's the actual new defense that's
Um,
changing it up?
I think that's a big part of it, and then just the extra levels on some of the other stuff, like the Expo, and, that's really all that else that I've upgraded. Um And then I think the nerfs, against the equipment, like Spear Walk is slightly worse, still pretty viable though. And then the boots. I think the boots and the spiky ball nerf was like, yeah, I think it's in sweet spot now where it's very powerful still viable 100%, but it's not gonna destroy the game in like one click.
And what do you think with those boots? Are you what aren't you getting that you were getting before?
So I think there's a chart somewhere out there that displays like what's left standing. I think it's maybe the spitters have like a sliver of health. The scatter shots have a sliver. Um, Definitely the multi-gear tower. Anything that's some of the more tankier buildings just have that little bit of health so that they can stay up for an extra couple seconds and deal that extra couple hundred damage, but not like so much that it's like worthless to bring the spiky ball along.
Oh, the ball. What about the boots?
I think it's pretty much the same kind of idea. It's just that sliver left, but they still do the wall damage, which is a big part of it, like opening up the core. Um, so it's
I
again, it
meant
still has the
sorry.
utility,
I meant
but
the RC boots, the electro
oh,
boots.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
No, no, no. I was like, I was like trying to think. I'm like
Yeah,
trying to put
the
two
new
pieces
ability
together.
on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely for me, the thing that I'm noticing is the healing isn't there.
Oh.
Before I wasn't doing the spear walk itself. I was actually using the Phoenix on it and just bringing along an extra couple invis spells, just so I get a little more value out of it. But I'm back to the spear walk again. It's still so good. And
You're
yeah,
back to the
the
fox.
blink.
Yeah.
What's that?
You're back to with the fox.
Yeah, yeah. The blink of uninvisibility, like, I do notice it, especially again, like, if it's going straight into the town hall or the monolith, but I don't. It just kind of changes how you strategize a little bit. It doesn't like really hurt the attack a ton.
Are you-
I probably not as smart to go. I used to be like you could do a town hall takedown with the RC by itself easily. Where now, like you can still do that. I do that occasionally in my Legends attacks, but I have found much less triple rates with that.
it's for some reason it seems like maybe it's just the base is catching up too.
Hmm.
But like, yeah, going in at a town hall, going to where I need, it seems to be a little bit riskier. Like, I don't know
Definitely.
if it's the pathing, or maybe it's just the timing and how I'm dropping it. Uh, and people are using those invis towers too,
Mm-hmm.
more. But you know, I kind of find like for me, it is here's what I'm attempting to get from the RC. You know, I'm gonna go in and uh, I kind of look at it and I go, well, even if I don't, if I get that one thing, I hopefully will get that. But if I don't even quite get there, like,
Hmm.
kind of like couple different levels, right? Like, cause I think she's going to go in here and I'd love her to go this way, but she could go all the way over this way, which, you know,
Yeah.
and at that point I can, bring her in. Uh, are you recalling her before the, ability?
Yeah, I try to. What I usually do, it depends too, because like if there's like a key defense that I know she could hit, or even if she could snipe off the town hall and she's a far way away but starts attacking it, then I'll pop the rocket spear and try and work that down. But usually, like I'd say like 80% of the time, I'll try recalling her before she takes too much damage, before the fox is taken down or anything like that. And then the second I place her down, I use that ability so that she can hang back from the rest of the army, snipe off those first couple defenses so the root riders can start heading to the core before I rage them up and get them invincible.
Oh, I know what I was going to ask you too. On top of that,
Mhm.
so I'm, you know, and you're talking about these attacks, and as you're looking, you know, as we were doing the war attacks, one thing that I've really kind of found beneficial, surprisingly, just because I just didn't expect it, was when I'm watching other people's videos or like the streamers or I remember really specifically with Shock, uh
Mhm.
watching his video and then watching how he um zooms in right on his screen or
Mhm.
how he's navigating the interface and then like the buttons on the bottom, like
Mhm.
the troop bar.
Yeah.
How are you when you're attacking, right? You sit down and there you are. Are you on a phone when you're doing it?
Yes, usually I am. I do have an iPad, and I've done a couple attacks on it, but it's like a 2021 iPad, and once, like, everything starts getting crazy, then it, like, lags for, like, a half second, and then I lose my RC, and I'm
Oh,
like, "Oh, no."
oh, bummer.
So, yeah, I pretty much keep it on the phone for the most part.
And so, okay, and do you set your phone on the table, or are you a holder of the phone?
I'm a holder, 100%.
Okay, and you got one phone in one hand. You keep it in one hand, or is it a?
Two-hand. I claw grip it.
And are you dropping with just one hand?
Uh, surprisingly, I actually used 2. Um I after hearing about the left-handed, right-handed thing, I'm left-handed, so I actually do have a little bit of a, uh,
You favor the left.
ed yeah, I do have an edge with that a little bit,
Yeah.
but, I once I know the attack very well, then I start doing, two-handed.
So this is just as like a if you haven't heard the episode, Ghost Knight had said that base builders will can kind of understand that people will favor the right side of the base because they're right-handed and will sometimes trap for that. And so I started kind of always attacking from the left because it seems to be usually a little bit more open. Um,
Mm.
okay, and so are you zooming in, or are you doing this full on? Like I see the whole base, and I'm. How are you navigating as you're doing your attack?
Yeah. With this, it also depends on the attack. With the Root Rider army, with the Spear Walk, I'm I'm pretty much in the middle. I do occasionally zoom out to check the other side of the base, see where I think the main push of the army will travel. But for the most part, I'm kind of in the middle, not all the way zoomed in, but out enough that I can see like probably half the base. Um, but then with other armies like the Fireball Rocket Loon, I learned it very quickly. It's the Shock's attack. You got to be pretty much fully scrolled out, which is very tough for me. It's
Yeah.
already a small device, and then trying to see, you have heroes going in on one side, your Fireball in the middle, and your Rocket Loons all across the other side. Like you have to see the whole base. And it's tough.
And so on that spirit walk, when you're starting that out, you're getting right in there.
Yeah, it's usually about 50% zoomed in.
Okay. Are you now your scroll bar? Are you just using
Hmm.
one, sliding it back and forth, or is it
Yeah.
two things on your?
I think on the phone you can only do one. I don't know if that's 100% true. I think it's only one. With the iPad, you can do the two, and I would much prefer the two. Just because, like, if you have an army with a bunch of different troops, like you forget to use things,
Yeah.
or it takes forever to try and find stuff. Recalling the RC, like you have like a quarter of a second because it takes time for the spell to drop. And so like if you see her taking damage, you gotta like immediately
Yeah.
be able to get it, and it's tough.
Okay. Yeah, I've been playing around with my settings, like with that because of shock. I was like, oh yeah, maybe I should do that because I keep forgetting my recalled RC over here to the
Mhm.
side, and then I had it up, but the boxes were too big, and then I'm missing. It's kind of handicapping the bottom part of the base
Right.
where I have to kind of zoom in and then scroll up, right,
Mhm.
or like scroll down so I can drop the troops, which kind of made me think, well, that's also a um, something that other people might have problems with, like that hidden Tesla down south or something might be a good. It'd be hard for people to drop down there if they're using
Yeah.
certain things.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm looking in the settings right now. It looks like on phone, the only thing you can adjust is the deployment bar size itself. So you can make the
Okay.
boxes smaller, which I might do that. Mine's almost to the max smallness, but depending on the army, I will definitely
It's almost a.
adjust it.
Do you miss click troops?
Not usually. The only the only time I do, I don't know why I do this. It's only with these spells. I sometimes press the overgrowth instead of the recall. I don't know why. They don't even
Oh.
look alike at all. But I just like I if I start freaking out, then I just press the overgrowth and overgrowth over the RC, and I'm like, oh, she's dead. So
Okay. I'm trying to knock out these little hesitations and little things, right? Like get
yeah.
the edge. Um so when you're gonna hit and you send your RC in, do you always have the in mind what you're gonna drop next and where?
Yeah, 100%. I plan out pretty much the entirety of the attack, within honestly like 10 seconds because the one that I'm doing is very copy paste. Um, so as long as you choose the side, it pretty much is going to go the same every single time. Um, and then the only thing that really changes is where you use abilities and stuff. And I think that's why I've had so much success with this army compared to some of the other ones is that like as long as you go in from the right side and don't waste spells, it's gonna triple or at least get a very high 2 star. Um,
Mm.
and it's really simple as well. So you get very muscle memory with it, and yeah, it's really good.
Have you got a chance to play with the new Troop launcher?
I haven't. I think I upgraded my workshop. Yep, my workshop finished upgrading like yesterday, I think. So just got access to it, but I have not even looked at it.
Any thoughts on that?
I like the concept. It's really cool, but I mean, compared to you could either have a couple giants or some P.E.K.K.A.s, and I would prefer P.E.K.K.A.s from the
Oh,
siege barracks. But yeah, it just the different siege machines. So I like the
oh,
siege barracks more because I feel like you get more value with the funnel from it rather than just a couple giants helping your push.
you know, I was watching Pinguini's stream last night, um,
Mhm.
and they were talking, and someone had mentioned uh, putting healers in there, jokingly,
Uh-huh.
right? Like, and I thought, huh, that's kind of interesting, because so I don't know, right, like the functionality. And as you're saying this, I'm like wringing my hands, going, yes, I cannot wait to play with it because it's leveling up to level 3 right now, I think.
Mhm.
Um, but I couldn't help but think of, instead of throwing in offensive troops, right?
Mhm.
Things that would get in there to where your troops are at. What if you were throwing in support troops?
Yeah. Yeah, that
Uh,
I can see that.
like what if you were throwing in oh man, like uh druids?
Yeah, I think druids would definitely be really good. Like healers would be pretty decent, except they would go down to air mines probably, like if it's in the core.
Yeah,
But druids, I could like 3 druids in there with like a rage. You could probably power through
because it
a
would
lot
just,
more.
it drops where your other troops are at, right?
Mhm.
And then you would have that druid healing. And how many throws does it get? I gotta look this up, you know. I should, with the podcast and everything. um I just don't want to get too excited about it.
Yeah, I think let's see. I think it at level 1 it does 5. And it looks maybe 7 based on like the bar. I think yeah, max level looks like it will do around 7 or something.
So you really couldn't, I mean, just with CC space, you're not going to be able to throw like a ton of really great troops, right?
Yeah, it would probably be you could probably do like 3 druids into the core by the time that everything kind of leaves,
Oh, that's, oh man.
which is a lot. So I mean that could do a lot of help. I mean, what would that isn't it 80 healing for a druid?
Yeah, I can't remember what the, since the nerf, what it was. But I know that I'm just thinking of the bear on that.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like
Yeah,
no matter what
that could be.
happens, you're getting something there.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, I mean, you would have the giants in there, for even more tanking for the rest of your army. So, I mean, I think that would work, and the other thing was, ice golems.
Ooh,
I think that would be pretty cool. So you could, completely freeze up the middle, and you don't need to use free spell.
yeah. I'd be down with that.
I absolutely spaced, that. So I might run some FCs and see.
With the,
Um
oh, I suppose we can use the, I didn't even think about putting it in a friendly army and trying it.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
I keep
Um,
forgetting about some of those, some of the newer features. I just kind of default in my head to the old days. Um,
yeah,
there is that troop contest, design a troop
yeah,
contest, and everybody in the world can submit a troop idea.
mhm.
Are you thinking of any? Would you like to
I
give
don't.
the listeners your idea so they can turn? No, I'm just kidding. I suppose it's probably like. Have you thought of? Are you going to enter?
Probably not, but just if I were Supercell, back to the Santi Supercell from December.
Dear Santa Super
Um,
Sub. We can start making the list now.
yeah, if I was to, this wouldn't be for necessarily a temporary troop. I think it should just be something added to the game. I think they should have different kinds of healers. And I heard, not necessarily like healers, but similar functions to healers. And
Yeah.
I heard this somewhere, um, whether it was like on Reddit or a podcast, but like instead of like a healer that heals, it would be like a
Rage.
rager. Yeah, that would like rage up your troops constantly. Or a
Mm.
freeze similar to like the ice wizard, the temporary troop ice wizard. That would
Yeah.
help freeze defenses over time. Um, what else is there? Like a haste one, that would be really cool.
Oh, like a
Um,
haste healer.
yeah, like, and you know, it would be super fast movement speed and then speed up your troops into like a small circle, just like the healer would heal in a small circle.
Ooh.
Um, or like maybe that would be like a super troop that you could, similar to how you can change out your hero equipment, you could change your healer or this unit's like, I guess, support type, or like even mid attack. Like you're raging for a little while, and then you switch it to a healer, and then it heals for a little while, and then you can switch it to a haste to push through far
Ooh.
walk or something. I think that would be pretty cool.
As you're saying that, I thought, what if you gave the healer the angry jelly ability?
Yeah.
So like the healers on like the defensive healers, right? That
Hmm.
healed, but if they were on your queen, they only targeted defenses. She only targeted
Oh, that'd be
defenses.
cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Kinda like changing up the, defensive meta some with.
Yeah, like the AI of it.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
So I think with Supercell though, with every update and troop, uh, it seems the naming of them can sometimes be strange. So
Rower.
the thrower, or thinking of just like the P.E.K.K.A. This. Would you do a normal name if you were going to submit your idea, or would you have a strategy?
Um,
I'm just
I don't
thinking
know
of these
what it would
questions
be.
as I'm.
Yeah, I think it would definitely be more unique, though. A lot of people hated that the thrower is called the thrower, and, um, like, I think something more unique that would stand out, would fit better with the game. So, yeah, definitely something different.
Do you think it'd be a good strategy to just follow that, right? Like go the roller
The roller, I mean,
or the.
maybe.
I'm just trying to think about how we can strategize to win this. Uh,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know about my defense or what my troop idea would be. Uh, we talk about it a lot. Uh, I kind of think like if I'm going to strategize doing this, ooh, I just had an idea for one. What if you had was called like my inspiration in my head is like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from uh Ghostbusters,
Mhm.
and I'm thinking of like the Capitol raids. And what if you had a troop that launched those skelly balloons off of them?
Oh. Kinda like sniped him in.
Well, no, just like they were as they're walking, like it was kind of like a giant or kind of like a golem or something,
Uh-huh.
where as it's as it starts to get shot down, it starts to release those skelly balloons
Oh.
that
Yeah,
would
yeah, yeah.
go out and then they would drop And so it'd be kind of like not the Golemites, but it,
Kind of like the snake equipment with the king.
yeah.
Yeah, that
But
would be cool.
so it'd fly up like that, what, and once it got shot down, or it would drop on stuff.
Hmm.
Ooh, maybe I'll have to submit that one. It could be called the Skelly Golem.
Yeah, that would be cool because then the golem itself would help tank for all the little skeletons, and they would be spread out enough too because um, barrels target defenses, right?
Yeah.
That would help eliminate the worry of like giant bombs destroying all of them at once with the snake bracelet. I
Yeah,
think that's a really good idea.
you could drop like, so like back in the day, you drop a golem and healers on both corners, or you just, it was, and in probably like the early town halls did this, but
Hmm.
put the put the golems on the corners to create the funnel and let them tank. But if you were doing
Hmm.
that this time, they would be releasing the stuff and starting to eat away the outside.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot.
You heard it here first. Supercell, this is my official submission. I will submit this afterwards. Uh, do you have to come up with a graphic? I think, right? Too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You could add it to the house of cards that you've been doing.
Yeah, that's been so much fun. So,
Yeah.
and for anybody out there, I think I talked about it a little bit last week, but I'm using AI and creating House of L themed meets Clash meets a bunch of different things, uh, style fantasy player cards for everybody in the House of L and like podcast guests and stuff like that. And it's been so much fun to put together. Uh, and I've got a lot of ideas of stuff that I'm gonna do with them. And I created
Yeah.
one for Swim, standing in the
They're so
waves
cool.
with his flippers. Mm. It's been a exciting, creative, fun time.
Yeah.
Is there anything on your list still?
There was one thing that I noticed about your attack,
Oh
that I
yeah.
forgot to mention.
Sorry, I kind of.
Um, so with so you did your spirit walk,
Yes.
um, and then right after you recalled her, I noticed she took a lot of damage, like right before you recalled her, and then I assuming that you like freaked out just a little bit just because of you like just managed to pull her out. And I know when that happens for me, I usually like pause for a second because my whole mind is like all on the recall of of the RC. So
Yeah.
then I pause, and I noticed you did that too for like 3 to 5 seconds um,
Before
before
I
you placed down
recalled
your
her.
warden. No, before you placed down your warden after you recalled,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that uh, normally, like, for me, that would usually cost me the 3 star if it was, like, a really close, um, time fail. So just trying to minimize that break right there in between.
That's why I was asking about the your plan, because
Mhm.
that is costing me constantly,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
the time, all the time. And when I go in there, uh, I'm used to my RC getting dinged up really bad. Like the
Mhm.
only thing like in hard mode is she gets up dinged up pretty bad.
Yeah.
Anyways, so when the update hit, I you watch the timer, and but sometimes I start late or something, or whatever. So I'm eyeballing uh this stuff, and she gets in there, and so I'm used to her taking a bunch of stuff, and like I said, I'm because she's unpredictable, I'm trying to get her in there. Maybe it's that I don't have as good a control, and so I'll kind of push it, and then when I recall her, then I'm going, okay, what's next? Because
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm just not. It's that hesitation that has been my biggest struggle, and I'm trying to figure out like my plan is usually um pretty similar, but it seems like I always have to assess at that point.
Right. Mhm. Yeah, so when I'm doing my spirit walk, I do tend to like when I'm placing down the invis spells, I am relatively zoomed in. But then after I place it and I know she'll be okay for like a couple of seconds at least, I'll zoom out some, kind of assess the base and do it then. Because you only need like a second or two to recognize the
Oh,
pattern. So that while she's safe, then you can see where everything else is.
so
Um,
maybe when I drop she gets to a clump where I
mhm.
can invis her and I know I've got a few seconds. Decide then,
Yeah,
is what
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
saying.
Yeah. And it is a little risky because she might run outside of it, or if you misplace the invis, then it could cover up the abilities that she was targeting, and then she'd run out. But like, if you can ensure that she'll be okay for like a couple seconds, then that should give you plenty of time. And I noticed too that if I'm doing a slightly longer walk, and I'm already risking the time fail a little bit, then before I place the last 1 or 2 spells, I will start the next phase of the attack already, which is also a little risky because then you're kinda splitting, but it kinda forces you to already take the pause and start planning out the next phase and start it, before you even recall, the RC itself.
So you're saying there's a chance. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, yes,
and
yes.
and that's and that's where like a lot of my questions have kind of have originated from is that struggle for me to look at it. And I feel like when I look at the base before I start the attack, I have a good
Mhm.
idea. And maybe it's just I need a better control of my opening. Um, I think with all the changes, right? Like the Tunnel 17 and the new defenses, it's just like I'm kind of always testing what I can get.
Mhm.
And so, and what it's ultimately, most of my fails come down to time,
Yeah.
hands down. Uh, Very rarely, like, unless it's like a 70%, but most of the other times it's fail. So I have to cut off. If I could cut 10 seconds out of an attack, and that's even made me think about like the spirit walk at all,
Mhm.
or actually starting that later or something. I don't know, but I did run it where I was doing the things at the same time, and maybe it is just even like starting a siege machine earlier for me.
Right.
Is it for you the RC? What's your next drop?
RC is the funnel on one side, and then Archer Queen with mirror and Siege Machine, the Siege Barracks on the other corner, so that it's just pretty much completing the anti funnel.
So you're dropping the queen first.
Yes, yes. So
Eh,
usually, if I know the queen and the siege barracks are pretty safe from super heavy defenses, and the RC is pretty much stuck where she's at, then I will drop the queen and siege barracks like 5 to 10 seconds before I normally would have if I had waited till the recall happened.
so let's say you're funneling and you're gonna use there's a north corner and there's
Mhm.
an east or a west corner,
Yeah.
and you're gonna come in with the RC on the north corner, right?
Hmm.
You would drop the queen and the siege barrack on the west corner, correct?
Yep. Yep.
Are you dropping the siege barrack directly west in the very corner, or are you dropping it down to push it so that those troops coming out head south, or are you doing it so those troops and the queen funnel to the north?
It depends on the base layout some. Usually, if it's like an open, like if it's an open compartment or like 10 things that are completely uncovered by walls, then that's all the funnel that I need, and I'll just drop the siege barracks in the far, far corner just so I can ensure that I'll be protected from any mortar shots or anything like that. If it is enclosed inside some walls, then I will set it to one side or the other, just depending on pathing. Usually going towards the RC, towards the center of the two funnels.
And that's so you would
Um,
like your P.E.K.K.A.s to go more north in that scenario.
yes, yes. I found I have some pretty good success with if I can um, have the anti funnel actually join up with the main army.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 P.E.K.K.A.s in the core can deal some damage to that town hall for sure.
Okay. I was
So,
I was doing a variation with that. Like I've been doing the warden walk.
mhm.
Um, and you're not doing a warden walk with yours.
No, I played around with it a little bit, but especially after that nerf to the fireball for hard mode, I might kinda stay away from that a little bit.
Do you think maybe I should stay away from it a little bit?
Um, if you're using super bowlers, then I think warden walk is fine as long as you're not using that fireball. Um, but yeah, it depends
Like
on
it
the targets that you're going for
like in my
sure.
attack that I did, do you think I got enough out of the do you think it would have went better if I went to warden walked?
Um, I think with the Super Bowlers, it was probably good for sure. Yeah, because yeah, you did get some value out of it. And then you had the Rage Vial. So you didn't spend that long on it, right? It was only like 5 or 10 seconds or so
It's all chaos.
before you
Time ceases to exist during a war attack.
Yeah, I think you pretty much set up the funnel on the one side with the warden, and then just pull them right away with the bowlers. So yeah, it was fine.
Well, well, kind of what you're saying makes me think like maybe I'm just putting him at unnecessary risk because I was telling you earlier, like I'm my warden's getting hit hard. I'm losing my warden sometimes, or
Yeah.
in this hard mode, and so my funnel has kind of been a with the RC is to kind of do a wedge, right? Get in, do a
Mhm.
wedge, and then on the cleaned out side on the so if it was in that north corner base, I would maybe hit it at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock, like a little bit south of north. Create a with the RC, kind of clear out a little bit of a wedge, drop the
Mhm.
warden on the north with a warden walk down, siege barrack down on the west, and try to push through that use the that wedge to bring the warden down. But
Yeah.
but what you would do different would be the siege barrack on the west with the queen.
Mhm.
And if I did I mean, it would be actually almost the exact same thing. I just would maybe move
Yeah.
my ward if I just wouldn't do the wedge at 1 o'clock. I just move it up and just do a
Mhm.
tighter funnel, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have had some issues with troops walking. Um, so that's why in hard mode especially, I've been bringing along the overgrowth.
Yeah.
Because I cannot afford that, where in Legends, if a couple troops walk, it's not the end of the world, and I'd rather have an extra rage or a couple freezes for, some of the core, but I actually really like the overgrowth for funneling. It's super, super powerful if, anything goes wrong.
I I found the same. I wasn't using it forever. I'm using it. I'm finding some luck, and I think you did this in your attack too. Maybe. Where I'm. So if like, let's say it's that a diamond base, and your troops are kind of cleared out most things, but you've got that bottom from like I don't know 4 o'clock to like 8 o'clock, or
Yep.
maybe a little bit higher, and your troops are kind of spread out. I've been kind of popping it right on that bottom corner to just to give my troops a lot more time to regroup.
Mm, yeah.
Like, okay, just let me take things out right here. This is the thing I want the most is right there. But
Mhm.
if they don't kind of come together and the healers don't find them, they just get stretched too thin.
Yeah.
And so sometimes they'll split and they'll go in different directions, but then they start to like work back towards it. Will you
Mhm.
do that, or what do you find? What are you finding like with good technique for the overgrowth?
Yeah, I think definitely regrouping, it's super good for, um I like it because you can either use it as funneling for regrouping like you were talking about, or just completely, neutralizing a heavy set of defenses that are relatively longer range that your army won't get to for a little while. So you want to just stop the damage for a little bit and, take care of the, less scary stuff, first. So I just like the versatility. Um, you can use it in just so many different ways. And I think with mine, I don't know what I was thinking, but I actually it was the last like 20% of the base, and there was a multi-archer tower and a single inferno that were like right over my army, and they were just the single target had locked onto the king, and so I was just really worried about losing that king. And it hadn't started doing the upper levels of damage yet. So I just overgrowth that, which is basically overgrowthing right over my army, not
Oh,
really thinking that the
those
majority of my army would walk. So it actually, everything left the center of the base, walked to the outside, and started dealing with the trash billings around the outside. Well, there was like a couple root riders that were targeting the defenses on the inside. But I think that probably cost me an extra like 5% because like the king went out and all of that, and I still had a freeze. And I should have just used the freeze and overgrowth the far side, which was dealing the long range damage.
do you ever do it so they path over the overgrowth, and then when the overgrowth wears off, they're like right there?
Yeah, if there weren't walls there, that's what I was kinda trying to do, but, I forgot that walls existed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I thought that the, root riders were gonna take care of the walls before the king started walking, and that did not happen.
I love that moment when the root riders or whatever it is are within that overgrowth and things wear off, and it's like,
Mm,
surprise.
yep,
That's I don't know, every time I get a kick out of that.
yeah,
It's really hard with those, especially like those 17 bases and the amount of rings and steering. Uh,
yeah,
but I mostly use it on the end of the attack for time. Like cutting off like part of a funnel to go to, and I don't know. I feel
mhm,
like I'm just looking at those hard mode, like this war, even heroes are boosted, troops are maxed that I'm
mhm.
using. Is it now like complete like changing up army comps, or I guess what I'm wondering is how do I get that extra power, or is it just what is going to make the hard mode more manageable? I don't know if you have any thoughts on that.
Yeah, I think really practicing spell placement, um, spells will spells will make or break your army entirely. Um, and happens so many times where I'm in Legends and I try and freeze like two heavy defenses that are just barely far apart, and I think the freeze will cover them both, and so I place it in the middle, and it covers neither of them. And that would like in hard mode, that would completely cost triple, like almost guaranteed.
Yeah.
Um, and so really dialing that in, and then practicing your army so much that you can do it in your sleep. Um, just so you won't
Yeah.
have any pauses or anything, and you just like a formula:
Yeah.
step one, Ryan; step two, step three, step four.
Punch in my I drop my siege barrack instead of putting in my passcode when I go to my no. So if you're what anything else you notice in my attack? Um I'm trying to think like is there would you trade out any spells? Would you trade out the hero equipment?
Which okay, remind me which hero equipment you have and which spells that you're using.
I had the
Because I don't.
spiky ball and the earthquake boots on the king.
Mhm. Yeah, I would say that's probably the best, except for, if you have a way of getting your king to the core and the core is super, super heavy, and then you could do the rage and the giant gauntlet, but I think that's only if you have a surefire way of getting to that core or a heavy set of defenses somewhere else.
You would do the gauntlet if I could get to the core?
Yeah, like, I mean, you can go kinda back and forth, but the gauntlet will take care of it very quickly if the king is there. Um,
Oh.
and protect it from some of that damage incoming as well. It's like it's what, 60% reduction or 40%? Um,
Would you favor the gauntlet over the EQ boots?
um, I would say I probably wouldn't do the double epics. Um, just because the gauntlet, like it's really good, but the king still attacks so slow it seems when it's not raged up.
Yeah.
Um, so and then it might get stuck with the walls there. So I would probably do either Rage Vial and Gauntlet or Earthquake Boots and Spiky, but there could be some scenarios that the, double epic would be okay.
Okay. And then I'm doing the Eternal Tome and the Rage on my Warden.
Yeah, I don't have much experience with, bowlers, but I think
Kind of need some
I
rage on those.
yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I could
But I
see
guess
that.
I could swap out a spell. Now I'm starting to like rethink it as we're talking. And then I'm doing my or my Electro Boots and Spear on my
Yeah,
RC.
100%.
The Warden has the Diggy. Uh,
Mhm.
the King has the Yak,
Then
which it's really heavy. He's really heavy. Now I could play back and forth with that. The Queen has Frosty, and the RC has a Fox. Any thoughts?
Definitely Fox on RC, if you're doing that Spirit Walk. With the king, I would depending on what equipment you're using, if you decide to try the giant gauntlet, I would use the, Phoenix
Yeah,
so that no matter what, you get the full extent of the ability.
yeah.
And I do like the Phoenix a lot on the king, because he does do a solid chunk of damage, and just kinda increases tankiness even more.
And
The yak, I was trying a little bit, and I don't know, like, if it's, like, something with the AI or something, but it wasn't finding much success with it breaking my king into the walls very well. When I did the Rocket Loon Fireball,
Oh,
the king I found was just still trying to walk around the base, and he wouldn't break in.
yeah, yeah, whatever he's targeting. When I got him to max, it felt like he just got I was getting a lot out of him, but I could put the Phoenix back on him and see how that
Like when,
works. That kind of makes sense, especially in hard mode.
yeah. I would rather bring like a um, wall breaker, super wall breaker, or something to break the king in, or a brute rider even, rather than the yak probably.
And what are you running on your Warden for a pet?
Let's see. Warden, I have Diggy. I think Diggy. It is crazy how much Diggy helps, like the back end of an attack, even if the Warden's down or still up. Like it will stun that last like cannon that would have just demolished your Root Riders, but it gives them that extra 3 seconds of stun to destroy it before it even hit them once. It's insane.
You know, as you say that, I think I'm not getting Diggy's full potential most of the time because when I do that Warden walk, he's out there just taking a beating.
Yeah.
And now I'm not really getting that much time out of the Warden walk anyways.
Mm.
I might
Yeah, I
be
would if you're just using it to kind of take out a couple trash buildings, you could just use a siege barracks instead.
you're giving me
Um,
ideas.
yeah, I really like the queen and siege barracks funnel. Because usually if you can get the barracks to kind of go, like let's say the you do the example from before with the RC from the north side and then the anti funnel from the west side. If you could have the siege barracks take like kind of go more south, that'll force your queen. They'll kind of funnel your queen north, which will just even increase the overall funnel even more, and have your king or your queen with your main push of your army.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah, it's those little things now where you're getting
Mhm.
into it. Like I shouldn't be in that last 10 seconds all the time. My fate shouldn't
Yeah.
ride in the last 10 seconds.
Mhm.
Um, and so I kind of think like with some of the stuff, some of the adjustments you can make, you can get, 4 or 5 seconds, but if you can make the right adjustments at the beginning, you can get 20. Right? If I can
Yeah.
keep my
Oh,
Diggy
yeah.
alive, at least like, if I had something in front of it to take, the hits for a little while before my main
Mhm.
push, it's like I just wasn't thinking about that. Um, just kind of thinking about, I guess I'm kind of legacy thinking of back in when I had the mini pony, mini
Oh,
horse. So
yeah.
helps
Yeah.
Sebastian.
And that that is pretty good on the Warden if you are doing a walk. Um, I know that's what Shock was using on the Rocket Loon Fireball. Um, and he was having some success with that for sure.
So what's next for Swimmy in the game? What are you looking forward
Um,
to, or what are you leveling up, or what are you?
so I will hopefully be max in maybe a month or two.
Very nice.
I was so close before the update, and then everything came out,
Oh,
which
that's
I am happy
rough.
about though for sure.
Is that
Um,
um is that with supercharge or just non-supercharged?
I am starting the supercharge now, so I have all the supercharges except the spitters left to do.
Oh wow.
So I saved those for last because I knew new levels were coming and upgrading the uh, normal levels themselves beforehand were going to be a lot more beneficial in the long term.
Cool. What about troops? Are you maxed out? What are you thinking about trying?
Um, I'm getting there on maxing everything. I have. pretty much all the essential stuff I have up. I keep switching my base layout, so I'm trying to find my laboratory right now.
I know, I hate that. That's why I don't switch it very often because it takes me forever to.
Oh my goodness, where is it?
I would like to
I think
try that
it's
Shock's 8 thrower army. I'll have to play
yeah.
around that with that too.
I haven't seen that video or like watched it, but I saw the thumbnail for it. It looked pretty interesting.
Yeah, they're pretty powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I'm finishing upgrading my wizard in the next hour. Then he'll be maxed, and then I'll probably start going on to miners or bowlers. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm doing my miners are severely underleveled.
Yeah.
Severely.
Yeah, I used to be so rushed. I have a couple photos of my account from like 2021, and I was like a Town Hall 14, and I had like level 7 walls, and so I'm still trying to recover from that. I'm finally getting to a place where I'm not as rushed.
That's awesome. Well, should we do shout outs? Is there
Yeah,
anything
sure.
else you want to that we didn't get to?
Um, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's
Although
kind
I
of
will
a.
say I am loving the underwater scenery. I was talking about it the last podcast, I think,
Yeah. And
and
you were
I
able to
absolutely.
it was in the shop, right? Or something?
Yep, yep, yeah.
You finally got
The
it.
music's so good. The it fits Swim Boi like it's perfect.
Very nice. You feel right at home. Dip that toe in the water.
Yep, yep, yep. Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
definitely gonna keep it. And oh, I guess one other thing um, is in the new update. I'm so happy they did this. They added equipment to the league shop.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so I mean, that's gonna help. I don't know about like players just coming back because they're gonna be lower um Clan War League levels, so it'll take them a long time to be able to unlock it. But I think it's definitely a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that is really cool. I didn't see some of those things. There was a lot in this update, I
Yeah.
think, that kind of was a little bit under the radar that I'm just picking
Mhm.
up and stuff. Or
Yeah.
maybe they were in the notes, but just didn't really realize what those things were. I suppose they're fixing things too, but
Mhm. Yeah. And so now I think I'm done buying hammers for maybe forever. We'll see. But I'm gonna try and save up for the league skins. So
ooh,
like the scenery and the other skins are so good. It'll take a couple months, but
yeah, I
hopefully I'll get
suppose
them.
that's a lot. Good news for me is I maxed my queen,
Yeah, I saw that. Good job.
which was
Finally.
yeah, that is quite unbelievable. I almost don't even want to talk about it because I'm afraid they're just going to add 5 more levels
Oh,
on.
they yep. Now tomorrow when we wake
Yep.
up. It'll be like 3-week upgrade times just for you.
Oh my god. Yeah, I get nervous about any time things are going swimmingly.
Yeah. Yeah, level 100 is crazy. Like
Yeah, uh, unbelievable. But I felt like I have arrived. Like, okay, now I'm in that range where I'm not gonna have to be buying hero potions anymore, and
mhm.
kind of put some stuff to use. So I bet in another month or I bet it'll take me 2 months to finish my king and my RC,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
I'm getting
Yeah,
there.
I've just had the minion prince down. He's finally level upgrading to level 88 right now. So
Nice,
another week and a half, and then I just have the queen left.
nice.
Yeah, the long road.
I just realized that the mini prince only goes to 90, right?
Yes.
Oh, I was like, I just realized that the other day, and I'm because that was like getting 10 levels on my hero because I'm thinking, oh my god, I still have all these levels.
Right.
Uh, so that was kind of a nice relief. But I'll keep him going as soon as I can. Getting that queen to um the last couple levels was so much DE that I had to take some time off of my pets even.
Yeah. Yeah, I finally have been getting my pets up too, and it's so nice because I feel like once you get to this level where pretty much most of the troops that you'll ever use are maxed, and all the heroes are pretty much max and pets are max. You can play around with any attack strategy, and there's really nothing separating you from being like some of the pros out there other than just practice and skill.
Yeah.
And
That's
so now it's gotten to a really fun part of the game for me.
yeah,
And
where
I
you
mean, you're getting to that point too.
yeah, where you can that's the part I'm looking forward to is where you just like when I'm in Legends, I'm going to be able to actually see really where I'm performing. You
Mhm.
know, because I'm doing pretty well, but uh, there's some attacks where I just think that's 5 hero levels would have probably taken that,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, or
And you're not confined anymore,
yeah,
to certain attacks or strategies, and so now you can kind of find, "Oh, my strong suit is, X kind of attack." You really like bowlers, and, especially with this new update level, they definitely are still viable, and so you can play around with some of the equipment and pets and stuff on them, and really master that attack for you.
yeah, and that was this last summer, I was just getting my pets and stuff and thinking, oh my god, it's going to take forever, but um, it it went faster than I thought. You know, I still have the angry jelly and the I still have a couple pets to max out, but just having that
Mhm.
variety of
Yeah.
things to play with is really nice, and um,
Mhm.
it's pretty cool that it's
Mhm.
just it's I think it's a fun time right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like this is what they want you to play the game like, but because the road to it is so long, like, for me, this is the first time that I'll ever be all the way max, all the way be able to do pretty much any strategy there is and just ready for anything. And
Yeah,
it's really nice.
I kind of need that excuse though. Well, I'm not Max, so no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
shout outs.
I would like to shout out Tyler and everyone from his clan that helped with this war hit today. It was really fun
Yeah, it was.
doing that, and
Next
I
year,
appreciate him stepping up for sure.
next year we'll do that. We'll get into this isn't at the actual world, so right? This is just the warm
Mm-mm.
ups.
I think this is just the warm up. So I don't know how the rules work for Worlds. Is there like an actual like qualifiers and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay,
if I remember right, I think this is like a practice type thing.
I see. I see. Kind of getting used to the rules and how it's going to work and stuff.
Yeah. And I
That's
appreciate
cool.
that though because it's good to do this run through and know how it works.
It
Other
makes
sh-
me very excited for competition. Like,
yeah, for sure. Other shout outs.
really, all of leadership in the clan, and just appreciate you adding me to that panel, and it's definitely an honor
I
being
was
leadership
a
now.
little nervous you had a lot too much to do. But yeah, and it's fun to start to get these tournaments rolling. Uh doing the world warm ups 2 weekends in a row, and now we've scheduled one, and I think it's just finding that rhythm, and we have that new
Mhm.
Apollo organiz-
Yeah.
organizer, and it's just like once we get that kind of infrastructure stuff too, it'll be a lot smoother and familiar.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Once we start doing wars or like competitions like this all the time, I mean, we're just like a normal war. It's like we're competitive and we want to do our best, but if someone doesn't triple or doesn't do as well, like they're not booted from the clan. Like it's just,
Yeah,
we learn from it and study the attacks and
we
improve for the next
you
one.
just know people are doing their best, and they're gonna what's gonna.
Mhm.
they're showing up as everybody's doing what they can do, and you just trust them to be doing that, I think. And
Yeah, exactly. I
nobody's
think that'll be a
rougher
lot
on
of fun.
themselves. Nobody's rougher uh, on somebody after an attack than themselves.
Right? Yeah.
We
Yep, yep, yep.
just got to talk everybody off the ledge afterwards. Mhm.
Mhm.
I'll shout out the clan. There's always a ton of shout outs. Looking forward to CWL coming up. Uh, and that's coming up super fast and starting to get organized for it. Shout outs to I've been watching streams sometimes in the evening. Penguini, Doses, Michael Gaming, and Ghost Knight. Just as ones that are just coming up off the top of my
Mhm.
head. So shout out to those guys. It's kind of fun to go over and on Twitch and check out what they're doing while I'm clashing. Shout out to the listeners as always, and you, Swimmy, for coming on a Sunday morning during a
Mhm.
Worlds match and hanging out with me and giving me some pointers here because I think I can take a lot of this with me for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Figure
it's been
this
a lot of
out.
fun.
All right. Well, until next time, you can get a hold of us at clashofclanspodcast@gmail.com or clashofclanspodcast.com. Well, until next time, Swimmy, keep it swimmy and clashy.
Keep it classy.
Skilly beep boop, skilly beep.